Let's get pumped. Welcome to Retrograde. This is episode number 59, and today we're going to be discussing Planescape Torment. My name is Jack Marshall. I'm joined today by the halfling that always gives it his whole, Anthony Hobday. Hello.
The paladin who likes to get Aladdin, Lizanne Fisher.
Hello.
And the troll who brings the lols, James McFadden.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Hey, how are we all?
What are you?
Apparently I'm getting all the lads in.
Should I give myself a name? Jack Marshall?
Do you say, well, I forget, even though you did it 10 seconds ago, but do you say, hello, my name's Jack Marshall?
Yeah, I say, my name's Jack Marshall. I'm joined today by the halfling that always gives it his whole.
Maybe you should say, hello.
I was listening.
Maybe you should say, hello. I've heard it so many times, I just black it out. Maybe you should say, hello, I'm so-and-so, Jack Marshall, and then go on to us. Because then you get Jack Marshall.
Jack Marshall. Today I have Troll Boy and Ferryman.
And then you get...
I would have gone for the bard who's also a card, Jack Marshall.
Ooh. So yours are all... Oh no, you're a troll. That's
mine
fine.
I
thought you were just picking on me.
If they're about me, then they're real.
I'm a halfling, apparently.
Halfling, paladin, bard, troll. Are you kidding me right now?
Our listeners won't know this. I just want to point out that I'm actually average height for a man, so halfling is not fair.
What if you're half giant?
I wasn't talking about your height.
Halfling giant is pretty tall.
That's like a regular tall dude.
It is a halfling right now.
Did you miss that? Did you just miss?
Oh, was that another joke?
Yeah. The thing is, that's the second time that I've had to do like RPG themed things for you all. Because last time you were the bard that's barred from children's playgrounds.
Oh, see, but you're not the bard that's barred from children's playgrounds. You're just the regular bard. So why have you added that extra qualifier onto my bard?
I'm just a regular guy.
I'm the bard that rapes children, not just the regular bard.
No, wait. He's a bard who's a card.
We've not gone into that.
But a card is what? What even is that? If you're a card,
I think it means like quite a character.
Yeah,
is that like a cad?
It's meant to be like the jack of whatever suit. Because the jack is the naughty one, he's the knave.
The knave, yeah.
Oh, so that actually... Oh, okay, that works on a few... Okay.
I totally made that up. I'm glad you believe me.
Oh. Because that's actually...
I really wish there was competition. I have this talent where I can do that, but...
Well, make up what? Like, if you're on that show,
I can make up definitions really well, and people believe me. I get away with it all the time.
Why are double yellow lines yellow?
Pardon?
Why are double yellow lines yellow and not
it's because they get lonely.
What? Interesting. No, he asked why are they yellow, not why are they double.
Oh, why are they yellow? Oh,
because they get lonely.
Because the yellow is the colour that can be seen by everyone, regardless of whether they're colourblind or not.
Because
that's why the red ones.
That's probably actually true.
Right, except they have red lines.
But the red lines in London, they keep getting complaints about it because the people who are colourblind
people think they see him as green and they're parking there going, green means park.
Exactly.
Because they're always scared.
That's another good one.
If you guys were a card...
You see, it's a talent. I wish there was a game show. I'd win so much money.
Your talent is lying. If you were a card from a card deck, what would you be?
Jack of
Ace
Hearts.
of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts, because I'm a Jack and I'm always giving out hearts.
I'd be the Ace of Hearts, because I'm Ace.
James, I agree with both of those. James, what would you be?
I'd be the Queen.
Yeah? Why?
You'd be the Five of Clubs.
Why would I be Five of Clubs?
Because no one wants you in the game.
Ow.
I see you've never played Clubby 5.
I've never.
You've never played Who's Got All the Five of Clubs?
It's James, by the way.
What card would you be, Anthony?
Well, I was actually going to make a joke and say I would be the Three of Clubs because I'm a bit unremarkable, but then Jack made fun of James.
Jack took that joke and applied it to me.
Yeah, so I'd be the Ace of Diamonds, obviously, because I'm like an ace and like a diamond, because I'm very remarkable.
You're a gem.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's really sweet. Nice one.
I said about myself.
Anyone got anything they want to share?
Yes.
Yeah, go on in, Lizanne.
We have finally acquired a PS3. I know.
Oh, ye boy.
So ahead of the times.
That's not coming out until next year.
I know,
You must have an uncle at Sony.
I know! And so Neil has started playing through Bioshock Infinite with me watching, and I'm playing through Last of Us with him watching. So it's kind of like we're both kind of
he's getting the short end of that stick.
Is he?
Well, I haven't played Bioshock Infinite, but it's almost definitely worse.
He is getting the short end.
He hasn't played Bioshock Infinite, so he can judge it.
Neil's always a lot more into action when it comes to games, whereas I prefer more of a story.
You don't like to sneak about and stab stuff in the neck and then sneak away again.
Yeah, exactly.
Collect like some pliers and then make a bomb and then run around a corner and stuff.
Yeah.
Like happens in The Last of Us.
And then 6-hour cutscene.
So I'm really enjoying watching Bioshock Infinite, as it were, and also playing Last of Us.
Which bit are you at in The Last of Us? Without any spoilers.
Yeah,
being as vague as
haven't got that
possible,
far.
Yet descriptive enough for me to know.
Yeah.
New game screen.
Ellie has just been scanned. That doesn't give anything away.
Oh, what's that?
Very early on. Like, we've only just got her.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I know. The bit,
Yeah,
and it's raining.
That's it. That's why. Yeah.
And it's raining. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying not to give anything
Oh,
away.
I didn't know it was raining. Oh, you guys ruin everything.
There's rain in that game?
You enjoyed it, though?
Yeah, really enjoying both of them. Visually, they're both absolutely stunning.
Wait until you unlock the motorbike.
Oh, stop spoiling it, man. What
In
are you
Bioshock.
doing? Oh, no, that's fine then. You can spoil Bioshock. But no, really enjoying them. Both really completely different styles of gameplay. But, yeah, really good. I can nearly walk and control the camera at the same time.
Nice.
I do have it set on easy.
I
So that
have
helps.
that trouble in real life, to be honest. Just keep walking into walls like this. The listeners can't see what I'm doing, but I had my head up walking into a wall. It was hilarious. If you were here, you'd be laughing.
Do you find yourself
That's
like,
why we're
walking
all
around with the camera pointed at the ground sometimes? And, like,
No, it's mainly at the sky.
at the sky. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so I reverse the controls, and it still keeps going up towards the sky.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm practicing with that currently, but yeah, no, really enjoying them. I can see why they got such high acclaim and praise over a year ago. I realise I'm behind the times, but still.
Much cheaper this way.
I am teetering on the edge of buying an Xbox One for Destiny. I'm so on the edge.
Wait,
It's
why
so
would you not buy a
close.
PS4
A
since it's on?
slight breeze would push me over.
It's on PS4 as well, though.
Yeah, I'm getting an Xbox One, though.
That's
Right, I don't.
Why are you getting an Xbox
Yeah,
One?
why
Not
an
PS4?
Xbox
doesn't
One?
make sense.
It's bigger, isn't it?
It's bigger.
It's bigger.
Getting more for my money's worth. 'cause
Wait, do you mean the console
Yeah, it's bigger.
or internally?
So I'm getting more for my money's worth. It's bigger.
Technically,
But
you're
it'll
getting
take up
less
more
for your
space.
money.
I mean, it doesn't really matter because Jack's going to leave it in the wrapper for his kids anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, my friend. So my good friend Rob, I brought him for his birthday last February a copy of Assassin's Creed 4 Skull Edition. Don't know what that means, but it was a nice metal one. He got it. Had my birthday the other week. I got my present from him. The same game. He just gave it back to me. Right. Now he doesn't realise. I don't know if he listens to this show. He doesn't realise now. That's it. He's started this now for the rest of our lives till I'm like 60. We're going to keep giving this game back and forth to each other as a present.
Does he know that he? Has
received
he
it.
played
I
it?
need to find out if it's exactly the same game because he put a little note on it saying, "I saw this and thought of you." So I'm like, "You've blatantly wrapped up my present and given it."
But
back
was
to
it
me.
unwrapped on the inside? Like,
No,
Has he
it's,
played
it's
it?
sealed. It's sealed.
so he hasn't played it.
So he hasn't played it. If it is the one he gave me, but I'm just saying we're gonna be like 60-year-old men. I'll be like, "I got you a present," and it'll be hilariously Assassin's Creed on the Xbox 360. By then,
Well, you
it'll
won't
be
even
worth a
be
lot
able
of
to play
money.
it. There'll be no 360s left.
I know,
because
but I'm giving it
Sony
to him.
will have won.
I'm giving it back to him next year. I mean, if he's listening, it's a bit of a spoiler, but he knows what's coming in the post.
If you're listening, you're a bad friend. Who does that?
I don't know. Is it bad to give back?
Oh
a
no,
gift?
I'm quite partial to regifting.
What,
I do it to
To the
different people
person
though.
that gave it to you, though.
No, I do it to
Lizanne,
different people.
that's awful.
I don't do it often. It's only with little crappy things you get at Christmas that you don't really want.
But that's all you've ever given me.
James, you said if you're listening, you're a bad friend. Why do you do that? I thought you meant if you listen to the show, you're a bad friend.
Oh. Well,
I was
you
like-
might be. I'm not saying you're not a bad friend if you listen to the show, but this
Nah,
guy...
he's a great friend. We have great times. Many a memory.
Swapping
fans.
Assassin's Creed
Swapping
back and
Assassin's
forth.
Creed 4 back and forth. It's great fun. Guys, what have you got to share? Anything interesting?
I know you guys have been waiting to hear about this. I've been playing quite a bit of Tales of Xillia 2.
Sweet.
No spoilers, but I'm quite enjoying it.
Oh god.
What's odd is that I like the Tales of games so much that even though they've reused about 80% of the assets from the first game in this game, it doesn't bother me at all. It must have taken a lot less time to develop because it's basically all the same characters in slightly different clothes.
What platform is it on?
PS3.
PS3.
Yeah. So I know that
game is it?
your copies are coming in the mail.
Did you unlock one trophy and it now then said like you are now higher than the whole world at this game because no one else is playing it?
No, I don't really. I don't have my PS3 connected to the internet, so I can't tell.
Too cool for
Too cool.
communication.
Too cool for internet.
Yeah.
But is it good though? Good game? Enjoyed it?
I mean, yeah, I love the series, so
In comparison to Rafa's the whatever that game you got, Ni no Kuni or whatever. Better than
I don't know. I mean, different. Probably not as good, but still just as enjoyable. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Okay.
So better than, but what about worse than?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Good point.
What's its like?
Well, I really-
Thanks for humouring me on that one, Anthony.
How does it compare to the Martin Scorsese film The Departed?
I'd say it's definitely worse.
Oh, okay. Because there were some people who didn't like that film so much.
how does it compare to having a hot shower after you've been out all day in the rain?
I mean, I don't think I've ever necessarily done that and thought about it afterwards.
Free shower, man.
You should. It's
Come
a great
on.
feeling. Next time I have a shower as well, just have a sit down in it as well. It's a great feeling. Just have a chill. Bring a beer in.
I feel like sitting in the shower is something that, with a beer, is something that depressed people do, and I'm worried about you, Jack.
Also, if you're sitting in the
Or the
shower,
opposite.
that's where the conical arc of the water is kind of dispersing the most. So you're getting way less coverage down there. It's
That's
like little
true.
water droplets. It's not a. It's
I
not
like
a
to get
heavy flow.
maximum coverage down there.
Yeah,
The spray radius is much larger though.
yeah,
so
but I
you're
don't.
getting more covered.
Do you have your shower head on like the really short, like SWAT team spray water setting?
I just
For when the
it's much-
SWAT people have showers.
as much pressure as I can muster.
But no, but it's just like the poof in your face. It's like Jesus Christ! I'm
I should come out with
See, okay,
bruises.
you said in your
I
face.
have-
This is something I don't understand. Does everyone face the shower head
No,
when they shower?
I've got my back to it.
I always have my back to it. I don't understand why in
Like a bear.
adverts they're drenching their face in soapy water.
I
It's
face
like,
it
why
and I
don't you have
open
your
my
back to
mouth and I get on my knees.
I'm not surprised. Anthony.
That sounded like it was about
But I
sexy
shower
things.
regularly.
Daily for me. James, what have you been up to?
That's a lie, Jack, and we both know it.
It is a lie.
Oh Christ, I don't know what I've been up to. I've been waiting for Destiny to come out.
That's what you've been doing. Just sitting there.
Just sitting there waiting, just looking at your watch every now and then like, ugh.
On the PS4,
On the obviously, yeah.
I'll
who'd
point
buy an
out.
Xbox One?
Possible.
I've been playing a lot of obviously I've been playing a bit of Divinity Original Sin, which is really good, but we can talk about that later because it's very similar to the game we're about to discuss, which we may as well head
Well,
into.
before we should roll into it, we should do the bam, bam, bam,
of course.
competition time.
Paul Monahan giveaway.
The Paul Monahan giveaway.
Who's in charge of this?
Oh, you are Anthony.
What the? Okay.
You are the guy who unleashes Paul Monahan from his cage and unleashes a prize on people.
Is he wearing a mask of some kind?
Bring out the Paul Monahan. What's the crab? Grab people.
I thought you were saying Paul Monahan. Like when you were doing it, so he growls his own name.
I'm Paul Monahan.
No, we shouldn't actually.
He's going to
he
sue
doesn't have
us.
a beetle hand.
Poor
We
guy.
shouldn't reenact that scene because then Bruce Willis will stab us in the back. So
And go me.
instead, maybe we'll give away some games. And the fact that I'm running it explains why this piece of paper is in front of me. Okay. Oh crap! We didn't actually. Okay. I just realised
no games.
we didn't do a random draw for this, so I'm actually going to do it on air, which is going to be special because
Right,
usually
just James, pick a number.
No, we
between
can't do
1
that.
and
that's not
12.
fair.
Anthony has.
4.
4.
No, it's
There's your winner.
no.
Done.
That's not how it
We
works.
just
Yeah,
did
it
it.
James is never random. Pick another.
No, yeah,
James
James.
has never. James
He
hasn't
always
looked.
picks.
I
He
can't
always
stop
picks
picking
four.
He
Listen.
hasn't looked at the sheet. He doesn't
Machines
know.
of-
It's a special occasion because usually we do this before the airing. So
This is quality radio.
I really hope the
Anthony has
random number generator says 4.
random number
not
generator
I
on his
really
own.
hope
That
the
would
random
be
number
so
generator says
random.
4.
Always pick 7.
and hey, it's Mr. Dragmar Ganantech.
Oh, that
It's number 4.
Is it
No,
really?
it's number 11.
Oh, he's number 11. Don't say he was number 4 because that person will probably cry.
No.
Yeah,
So-
it could have been you.
At Gannon. At Gannon.
Not going to say it. So, Mr. Dragmar, you've won Toki Tori 2, Broken Sword 2, VVVVVV, and Lone Survivor.
Yes.
We're going to contact you on Twitter, send you those game codes, but also, if you guys want to enter for the next episode, you can do so. We're giving away
Go on.
Limbo,
Oh.
which I think is maybe the 15th time we've given away Limbo. Symphony, play your music, it's great.
Yep.
Draw Stickman, epic, never played it. It got good ratings on Metacritic. Maybe it's good, I have no idea.
I'm excited.
That place is not reliable. Gal Confusion and Galcon Legends, which are both crap, but you get 2 of them. So,
What was that game? Was that Gal Confusion?
no, Galcon Fusion
Oh.
and Galcon Legends.
Not girl confusion. If
I think
That's
someone
what I
should
was
make a
thinking
game.
you were saying.
I heard Gal
Make a game
confusion.
called Gal
No,
Confusion.
if we had a game called Girl Confusion, I would not give it away. I'd be playing it myself.
Gal Confusion is
'cause-
sitting
My
across from me
life.
on the sofa.
You'd
Yeah.
win that game
My
really
life,
easily.
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I would
life is Girl.
Yeah,
relate
Jack
to
would
that
too.
so much.
Yeah.
So if you want to enter to win those, we're going to be putting the details on Twitter. You can retweet that, and you will be in it to win it.
Fandabby dozy. Awesome. Did you have a theme for those prizes, or did you give up on that?
I kind of went for the first 3 good ones that were at the top of the list, and then I just threw in Gal Confusion and Galcon Legends because we're never going to give them away otherwise.
You're that good to the listeners, aren't you?
Got to foist them off on something.
No, we have to give them away because they're sitting in the list and they're too crap to give away on their own.
Anthony, what's your stance on the Steam libraries these days? Because I know in the past you've made Steam remove games from your library, but now you can hide them. So do you still have that niggling feeling that...
Yeah, I don't want it to be part of my account.
Really? So even though you can hide them and they're ostensibly gone, you have to actually get them?
No, because it used to be you could put them in any category that said hidden or something and then just...
But now you can actually hide them from the list. They've introduced...
Yeah, I don't want them there in the background.
So because it seems like they would have introduced that for people like you who want to...
Yeah, probably. They just did it too late and...
Not enough.
Not enough, yeah. I've gone too far with my need to remove games. So. I mean, applause to them, though.
Is there no going back?
I mean, I can't get the games back, but if that's what you mean.
Yeah, well, I can speak to Steam.
I don't think I could get back to the point where I have, 500 games on my Steam account because...
Oh, I love it.
Nah,
I love scrolling. Sometimes I just scroll up and down for fun on my Steam library.
That's the game to you.
Jack, do you have an eye tracker? Because you just scrolled up and down with your head.
That's how I scroll.
He's nodding.
That's the problem.
So you know when Jack gets really happy, he starts to nod.
Like one of those nodding dogs.
When I'm confused, I tilt my head like that as well.
That's the problem is
how dark
that
you are.
Steam becomes the game for a lot of people, and the games in Steam are no longer the game. They just play Steam, essentially, and that's why they get 600 games that they never play.
It was Humble Bundle did it for me. I've bought every Humble Bundle nearly. And
Really?
I sit there thinking, wow, I've made such a good deal, and then I realise I spent about 200 on Humble Bundle on games that I've never played.
The Humble Bundles used to be really good. They used to, all the big name indie guys were getting more exposure and stuff before Steam Greenlight was a thing, yada, yada, yada. But now, it's like 3 no-name games that you never want to play. Then pay $15 for this 7-year-old indie mega hit or whatever.
So they have the Humble Bundle, the Humble eBooks Bundle, the Humble Weekly Bundle, and then the Humble Store, and it is getting a bit confusing where it's this is no longer, but I mean it's still a good deal. It's always and this is the problem. But I read the other day there was a really great article, and I'll share it in the show notes about how gamers are worth nothing to us anymore. It was this article from this game studio. I want to say
Puppy Games,
I think. Yeah, and they were saying how even if you buy all of our back catalogue of games on the Humble Bundle or something like that, it's worth less than a cup of coffee to us. It's like $5. You would mean nothing to us anymore. It's sad. Really. It's a really sad article. I'll share it on the show. I've probably not done it justice, but I'll put it in the show notes.
I'm not entirely sure about their argument, but they know more about it, obviously, than I do. It's just... if you read the article, you'll see.
This is very interesting. But anyway, let's talk about Planescape Torment. Didn't get a voiceover this week, so I'm going to do it, okay? You all happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Planescape Torment is a computer role-playing game...
Are you doing it now?
Yeah, right now. It's a computer role-playing game developed from Microsoft Windows by Black Isle Studios and released on December 12th, 1990.
Tell us when you're going to start.
Entertainment. It takes place in location... It takes...
It sounds like you could rap it.
It takes place in locations from the multiverse of Planescape. Doesn't rhyme.
It doesn't have to rhyme. You got to sell the rap.
Wikipedia doesn't rhyme, you guys. Shut it down.
The game's engine is a modified version... Oh, business idea there. All Wikipedia articles, but they rhyme.
Why is that a business idea?
That would be easy.
That's just an idea.
Wait, would
that's
you
not
charge people for this service?
Yeah, I would.
That's not a business idea. It's just an idea.
I'd call it
Rhymepedia.
Yeah.
Rhyme-a-wiki.
All the articles.
Wiki rhyme.
Wiki rhyme.
Wiki rhyme. Oh, we're on it. Okay.
Rhymepedia.
You sign up to their newsletter, and every month they send you 0.5% of Wikipedia printed out and modified so that it rhymes. That'd be brilliant.
We're on it. The game's engine is a modified version of the Infinity engine, which was used for BioWare's Baldur's Gate. People out there are like, tell me about the freaking game. Planescape Torment is a primarily story-driven. Combat is given much less prominence than in most contemporary role-playing games. The protagonist, known as the Nameless One, is an immortal who has lived many lives but has forgotten all about them, even forgetting his own name. The game focuses on his journey through the city of Sigil, and other planes.
What word is he trying to say?
To reclaim his memories of these previous lives. The game was not a significant commercial success, but received widespread critical praise and has since become a cult classic. It was lauded for its immersive dialogue, for the dark and relatively obscure Planescape setting, and for the protagonist's unique persona, which shrieked many characteristics of traditional role-playing. Shirked?
Shirked.
What the hell does shirked mean?
You shrug it off. You get rid of it.
Right, okay.
Are you going to carry on?
Shall I Wikipedia
No,
shirked?
stop carrying on.
Shall I Wikipedia shirked?
No, we just told you.
It was considered by video game journalists to be the best role-playing game RPG of 1990.
He's reading the entire article.
To receive attention long after its release.
You don't need to do a show.
Wiki rhymes.
We don't need to do a show now because you said everything about the game.
Well, I'll just continue. Shall I just read the Wikipedia article in the show? Planescape Torment is built on the Bioware.
All
No, I'm
right,
joking.
that bit has come to its natural conclusion.
James-
Actually, we could do that and then not have to do the show anymore. We just have Jack reading out the Wikipedia article for each episode.
I think to really sell it,
And they need to rhyme.
we'd have to script it. We'd have to give each other a paragraph each. So
And I'd have to read it in my grandfather voice, which is also my Father Christmas voice.
And then James could say, "But guys, don't you think that Planescape Torment received significant critical acclaim?" And then Jack could say, "Yeah, but I'm not sure that it was released for Windows in the 1999." And Zam was like, "I think it was actually."
The game caters to both the goody player. See, I could do it. It's pretty good.
What was that?
That's my granddad voice.
That was not a granddad voice.
Have a Werther's original.
As soon as you bring in the Werther's original, it changes it
To what?
to a granddad
Creepy.
voice.
To granddad
That gives it all the context you need.
Why are Werther's Originals granddad food?
Because
What
it was
is
the-
it?
no,
they-
Because there was the advert.
The
What, with an
advert
old
was
person in
the
it?
advert
Yeah.
was literally a granddad giving his kid a Werther's
Werther's
original.
Originals
Yeah.
are delicious. They're not old.
Yeah, but they're like
I know,
hard.
but
they're hard
They
sweets.
don't even advertise anymore. That's how good
They
they are.
do, they do.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Werther's
Unlike
original.
Coke and Pepsi,
They have to.
those guys suck.
They have to keep pumping out Coke adverts, but Werther's original is that one Werther's original? That's an advert enough for me. Yeah.
No, they've got the new ones with this little girl narrating, saying, when I go to my favourite caramel shop, and I'm like, well, hang on, where are these caramel shops?
Wait, you don't have
And
a
it's just
caramel
this
shop?
advert- Exactly.
I have a caramel shop.
Because you live in London.
Next to the candle makers.
And
On
she
Brick
goes
Lane.
in there and it's filled with Werther's Originals and she loves it. And I'm like, well, where is this caramel shop? I've never seen or heard of a
Isn't
caramel shop.
Thornton's kind of a caramel shop?
Chocolate. They're
Right,
they're a chocolatier.
But they used to be like, their thing was, it's toffee. They used to do a lot of toffee. Which is kind of
But on the
same.
advert, they specifically say caramel shop.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just, yeah.
Do you know where you can't go to get caramel?
Where?
This great place called tweetaudio.com who
Oh,
sell
really?
headphones, yeah. Retrograde Show
Wrap
and all our sister podcasts on the Psychonet are sponsored by Tweet Audio. So if you're thinking about
They
buying
do
some
wrap
new
it the sand
headphones,
professionally.
Hey.
head over to tweetaudio.com for some headphones for your head.
And earphones for your ears.
Earphones for your ear things. And if you use a promo code Retrograde when purchasing, you'll get 33% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty on your headphones. And I annoyingly brought some headphones recently and didn't use this, and I was
You nuts.
really annoyed. I was going to get some skull candy ones, and I realised that I don't like them, and I don't want to look like a 14-year-old
Aren't they for girls? Yeah.
Didn't know that. Yeah, nearly got them.
Beats is where it's at now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got 200 quid to drop on some less than good headphones.
Wherever they look cool.
Value for
But
money.
yeah, the
Value for
kids
money.
will think you are dope.
Yeah. But make sure you head over to tweetaudio.com and make sure to use the promo code Retrograde. You'll get some awesome headphones. And don't be an idiot and don't do what I did and not go to tweetaudio.com and go to bloody Amazon. Didn't even ship it on time, even though I had Prime delivery.
I think the people at Tweet Audio would be quite upset if they knew you were mentioning Amazon during the plug for their product.
Go to tweetaudio.com. Don't go to Amazon because I've got Prime delivery. I pay 50 quid for a year for it. I'm sitting there every next day going, here it comes, 1 day delivery, never turns up on time. And every time I complain, they go, have another week's worth of Prime. I'm like, sod off, I'm not ordering anything. Anyway, let's talk about Planescape Torment. Rant over about Amazon Prime.
James, why did you choose this game?
You know it's bad when there's hands having to take over. James, go on.
It's not bad. It's just you started scrolling again, and I know how quick your head moves, so yeah.
Well, just let me consult the Wikipedia article. I chose it because I liked it when I played it a while ago, and I thought we should talk about it.
Do you know what, James? You should take part in a podcast which reviews games that you have to select.
Why?
Because that was a really, really good
Was it?
Do you know what you
reason,
should also do is edit the Wikipedia article about 3 minutes before we start the show, and I end up reading out something like "Who bum face," and I'll be like, "Oh damn."
Yeah,
Some
you
clever
should do that,
monkey's
you should
done
do
it,
that.
or just put like this game was designed by James McFadden. And I'm like, wait,
If only.
That would be hilarious.
No, I chose it because I'd started playing Divinity, and it gave me the idea that we should talk about it, you know, because it's such a, like Jack said, or like the Wikipedia article said, it was such a cult classic, but it's kind of, it didn't receive that much commercial success as far as I'm aware, so I thought we should go and see how it aged.
Why did you not choose the far superior Baldur's Gate?
Because that's so blasé, isn't it? I mean, Baldur's
It's not
Gate
blasé.
is everywhere. And I think a lot of people consider Planescape to actually be a better game. It's certainly got a stronger vibe going on. You know?
It's a more interesting game.
It's more atmospheric,
No,
yeah.
it's not a more interesting game.
No,
think it is.
what it did, its approach to, I don't know, the genre was much more interesting.
Well, let's just dive straight. I mean, actually, I'll be honest. I'd never played Planescape Torment before, so I'll tell you the story.
Planescape Torment.
I'll tell you the story of me as a 10-year-old boy. I didn't get much money each month, and I I used to buy games. I used to buy things like.
I thought you used to rent them, play
Tomb
them,
Raider
take them
and
back.
Worms. Yeah, exactly. Or just buy them and then take them back to the shop and say they didn't work 2 weeks later when I've completed them. Never did that. Don't do that, kids. Stay in school.
You can't do it these days.
I used to do that, but they changed their policies.
Yeah.
Because of kids like you, I can't do it anymore.
And I read about Baldur's Gate, and I was like, oh yeah, because it just sounded like so. I was always about getting money, more buck for my money. Is that the right expression?
You were always about
mean-
getting more buck for your money when you were 10.
Do you mean more bang for your buck?
That's what I wanted. Bang for my buck.
There we go.
So
Buying horses. What's a buck? Is a buck a horse?
It's a deer.
Buying deers.
Yeah.
anyway,
Going down the deer market.
So
getting
anyway, I
value
saw
deals.
this Baldur's Gate game, and I was like, oh my god, like, people were talking about how it could take like 200 hours to get through multiple characters in order to come out. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get it. And I just wasn't expecting this very hard-hitting, interactive novel of a game. And I really worked hard, and I really got into it. And I really did like it. However, I will just go straight on record to say that I just cannot get into these styles of RPG games.
Oh, really?
Just so much text, so much just... And Baldur's Gate was a little bit more streamlined than this. Planescape Torment, what really impressed me, but sadly it's not the thing that I would actually play it for, is that like, there's just... the opening scene with the dungeon bit where you open up the skull, I was wandering around for like an hour. I didn't know where I was going. And then eventually I just found a door that took me outside, and I spent another hour in this new town talking to prostitutes, going, do you know where this guy called Thanos is or something?
Farad.
Faraz or whatever.
Farad.
And it's great. So I was really impressed by the sheer amount of people to talk to and the amount of ways you can approach stuff and the loads of different things you can do. But I like Baldur's Gate a little bit. I like more because it was a little bit more streamlined. It was a little bit more. Actually, I prefer to be led by the hand. Whereas I think people play this game because it is so free open. It is so much to do. It is a freaking huge game. If you like games like this, it's going to keep you going for like 400 hours. It's insane how much money you're worth for your game.
You mentioned you don't like. Was it RPGs?
Lizanne had a point. Hold on.
I was going to pick up on that and talk about Secret of Monkey Island, which I believe
it's a different.
Yeah, but it's still text-based and it's still putting. Obviously, there's got more action in, but it's exactly the same.
No,
It's a lot more streamlined, I think.
First thing I thought of when I started playing this was, oh, Jack will love this. It's like Monkey Island.
No, do you know, I do agree, and I remember playing Space Quest 6.
And it's got that
with
style
Roger
of humour in
and
it
that
as well.
had loads of dialogue. I don't know, like, even the start of the game, a skeleton comes up to you, and it's like, it made me laugh when he's like, there's something written on your back. And I was like, okay, this will be pretty short. Nope, it's like 4 paragraphs on this dude's back. I'm like, how long was this guy tattooing him for?
That's part of the humour, though.
I
That's
don't
part
know.
of the joke.
Is it
How on
meant to
earth
be
is that
humour?
actually all fit on his back?
No, because it's
with
in
skulls?
runes.
No, it's not. It's. I think it is a very involved game. You have to get yourself in the right mindset and become susceptible to the text. But I think Jack, did you like stuff like Skyrim? Would it be okay if people were actually speaking the dialogue?
Well, no, because to be honest, I remember Fallout 3, which I talk about as one of my favourite games. About 4 hours in, I started skipping all the dialogue.
Really?
I was just like, skip. And I'd miss something really important and go, that was what I meant to do.
I didn't know that. That's interesting, because I would classify Fallout 3 as an action game with RPG elements. You know, it's quite runny and shooty.
But Planescape Torment, I'm not saying it's bad. It's going to take all day. Planescape Torment, I'm not saying it's bad for it. I'm just saying it's on, if I were to put like some weird sort of spectrum of RPG games, of ones that are so ones that I guess are linear, that'd be Fallout 3 and Skyrim, ones that are just so free-formed and open, you can go anywhere. Planescape Torment would be that. And if you're into that, that's freaking awesome. You're going to love this game, but I'm just not into that.
Wait, did you put Fallout and Skyrim under the linear category?
I think he's saying like a spectrum of this Western RPG style of game. There are more linear Western RPGs and there are more open RPGs.
I think Skyrim and Fallout 3, you always know what your main objective is. I know my main objective here was to meet...
It changes depending on what you want to do.
I know here was to meet Phonos, but with Fallout 3...
Pharaoh!
Whatever, it doesn't matter. I know in Fallout 3, even has a little indicator on a map. I can even fast travel there. Like, thank God this had a run option. If this didn't have a run option, 2 minutes.
Yeah, but Jack, there's obviously that's quite a contentious thing, the fast travel and the map marker, because obviously you get more involved in the game if you have to read your journal or whatever, then find out where you have to go from there, then navigate yourself and walk there instead of actually having to teleport or whatever.
When it said at the start, it was like, we recommend you get a pen and paper and write down anything important you see. I was like, not happening. What do you think I am? Rich?
Luckily, that was just a reference to the journal.
I think you're the kind of kid that plays Transport Tycoon with isometric paper and you design railway tracks. Therefore, a game where you need pen and paper appeals greatly to you.
If I could build a trade in Planescape, that'd be brilliant. Anzi, what did you think?
I just wanted to say Monkey Island was mentioned, and I'm not sure I agree with the comparison apart from the pointing, the clicking, and the text. But I realised
Monkey Island was.
No, I mean those are the only things. Whereas this has like combat, for example.
Yeah.
But
Ish.
Monkey Island 3 was one of my first Monkey Island games, and that has a talking skull. So maybe they were inspired. I don't know when Monkey Island 3 was produced, but I'm guessing it was after 99,
It was after
95.
It was after Grim Fandango, so it's probably after this, probably about 2000.
When was this? 95 or
This is,
99?
99. Did you not listen to my Wikipedia opening?
There was a lot of it.
You were rapping.
It didn't rhyme, so I didn't listen.
You just raised something that I'm sure was going to come up anyway. Combat. I don't know how you could say this had good combat, because it didn't. The combat in this is crap.
I haven't played Baldur's Gate or anything like that, so I'm not sure how the combat in this compares to Baldur's Gate.
And you can kind of form around people, and it's just better. This one, you just press A and click on a dude and just go, here we go, let's see what happens.
Yeah, coming back to this from Divinity, you really do notice how clunky the combat is.
I mean, yeah, that's the sort of thing that's improved with time, and one thing that hasn't really improved with time, I don't think, is the graphics. I think are fantastic.
Yeah.
Obviously, on the TV right now, we're looking at the HD upgrade. You know,
Well, yeah, I'll put a link, because there's a massive long list of mods you can install that even the good old game version that I bought supports them as well. And I wasn't playing this. I was playing old school, like, horrible bit little graphics. It still looked really good, actually. I thought it was pretty. I didn't mind it at all.
I think graphics like this don't really ever age because they're very well done, isometric. They don't move around, so you don't notice any problems with 3D modelling, that sort of thing.
And it must have taken those artists. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like, the amount of screens, I don't know how many they had to draw, but it must have taken forever.
I'm guessing since this is, if you're on the first screen, I'm guessing it'd be much more detailed than, say, the middle of the game where they probably just put in loads of deserts because it's much easier to draw and tile that way.
Well, I don't know, man. I was looking at because obviously this was made by the company that then became Obsidian, right?
Yeah.
They are now kickstarting a game that's essentially not a
Infinity of-
spiritual
Is it not
sequel,
just?
but
Is
it's
it
like-
not literally called Planescape? Something?
Pillars of
No, that's a
Eternity.
different- I think that's a different company making them.
Pillars of
Planescape, yeah.
Eternity?
Yeah, Pillars of Eternity. And I actually think they've tried really hard to mimic the style that they had in this game. I actually think it looks a lot uglier now. Like the game they're trying to release, the new game that they're making with all the improved assets and whatever, actually doesn't look as pretty as this really, really old ass game does.
Is it Torment Tides of Numenera?
Numenera, yeah, no, that's not the game they're making. I think that's someone else.
Oh,
Isn't it?
okay.
But I don't
Yeah,
know.
I remember hearing about that, but that's a different company, I think.
It's mentioned by a guy called Brian Fargo. I think the designer of this is a spiritual successor.
Yeah, I think all those guys split off and went in different directions, so...
Makes sense. But isn't that... oh, God, I'm terrible for trivia on this one. I think it's the most funded Kickstarter as well.
I'm not sure, they keep breaking records everywhere.
It got like 4 million.
Which one is this? The
Torment of Numenera.
How much did the Double Fine Adventure get? Because that was like the landmark.
I think it was
Let's have a look, I'm
3
seeing it.
point something million.
Oh, okay.
You guys carry on talking about the game. I'll do some research.
Right, yeah, I mean, my main point was going to be that I really like this game took a different approach, even though it's not for me, I'll say that outright. Just like Jack, I'm not really fond of, all the... nothing. But I really like the approach they took in that they made an RPG where the main stats were intelligence, charisma, and wisdom.
Yeah.
Because in almost every Western RPG, and even JRPGs, if they got stats like that, your main stats for the main character are usually fighting stats, because you want to have a sword or a shield or whatever, and you want to be in the action. Whereas this, you get a lot done just by talking to people. And I really enjoyed they made that clear in the first area, because they have these large skeleton guards that all just mess you up if they're angry at you. But if they're not angry at you, you can walk up to them, read the runes on their chest plates, decipher the runes, and then just destroy them. And then do that one by one and get a lot of experience from those skeletons standing in that room. And you haven't actually attacked them at any point, you've just kind of figured them out without.
Yeah.
And I love that that's an approach you can take in this game, because obviously combat is so important to every other Western RPG ever. But I was going to compare it to Tales of Xillia 2, which is part of the reason I brought it up at the start of the show. Because I prefer everything about Tales of Xillia 2 compared to this game, except for the story. This game has a great story, but everything else about it is just not my cup of tea. It's too slow and not too vast, but there's too many things I'm never going to see.
Yeah, but with a game like this, almost everything else is a vehicle for the story, right? I mean, it's not about the combat. It's not really about the gameplay, is it? It's just those things are there so they can continue to tell the story in a more interactive way.
Yeah, I think at that point I'd just rather read a book.
But why? I mean, really, would you? I mean, take the dialogue, take the setting, take everything about this, put it in a fantasy book.
Right.
Are you telling me you'd rather read that than play this game?
Yes, because getting from plot point A to plot point B requires a lot of running around and trying to figure out where plot point B is. Whereas I know that plot point B is on the next page in the book. I don't know that here. I know that it's somewhere in Numenera, and I have to go and find Numenera, and it turns out it's a completely separate game.
Not to interrupt, but sorry. inXile Entertainment are making Torment Ties of Numenera. It was funded in the first 6 hours of the 30-day project, and it overtook Obsidian's entertainment Project Eternity, and now is the most funded video game at Kickstarter with a total of $4 million. So more than Ouya, more than Broken Age, and all that stuff. So obviously people really
Good on them.
People really like Planescape Torment.
But I just want to make clear that I do appreciate what it succeeded at doing, which was making such a story-heavy and dialogue-driven RPG, because often they're too focused on combat.
Well, two things really quickly hit me about the game that didn't have it in Baldur's Gate that I actually really did like. First thing was when I was trying to find this dude, Thanos.
Yep.
Anyway, when I was trying to find him, I love the fact that there was I spoke to a prostitute, and she was like, I know where he is, but you got to pay me all this money. And I was like, well, I think that's what I have to do. Then I went into a tavern, there was another dude, I think he was like a villain, or he hated this guy, and he was like, I know where he is, but you got to come do a quest with me. So I like the way it seemed like there was actually a lot of ways to approach getting to this guy.
Yeah.
And I was surprised, because I was like, wow, that's really cool. And the other thing that happened, I was talking to a prostitute, because that's all I do in these games. I just ball in.
Where's the prostitute?
No, I was really impressed when... it was strange because it came up and it said, and this never happened in any RPG I've ever played, I don't think it even happened in Fallout 3. It said like, yes, I'll help you, truth, yes, I'll help you, lie. And I was like, wait, what? And it was like, so I could say the same thing, but I could actually say whether I was actually going to do it, and the game would know that. And I don't know what impact that had, but it made me quite impressed. I was
That
like,
is very interesting.
I was like, that's kind of cool. So it knows it's weird because the game must be taking that information and going, okay, he's a bit of a badass. He could become a bit of a bad character later on in the game because he's lying all the time.
Yeah, it does tell you your it's not called orientation. That's about sexual things, but your alignment.
Yeah. Alignment. Yeah.
So I'm guessing that would affect your alignment. But Lizanne, I want to hear what you think.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
The opening animation I was really intrigued by.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I was. No,
That
no, because all I knew about this game was the title and that James had picked it. That was it. And so then it all starts. It's all really dark.
That should be enough, Lisanne.
That's why I played it, James. And you know, there's a dead body, and I'm like, oh, interesting, okay. It's going to be intriguing.
All these people are turning into zombies before his eyes.
Exactly, and then it's like, oh, okay, those are some weird triangle boobs. Okay, right, we're in that era of animation, that's fine. And then suddenly I get this really, well, for me, it was quite intimidating, the screen where you have to pick all your stats. And I'm like, well, why on earth are we doing this? Obviously, I want them all to be equal. So I just put them all equal. And now you're saying that I should have actually done intelligence, wisdom, and charisma as the most important, and ignore the others.
Why obviously should they be equal?
Because then I'm equally awesome at everything.
Yeah,
Or equally shitty at everything.
I don't know why you're.
I don't
know why you're laughing at. I did exactly the same thing.
In RPGs,
I
like
just
the
went
first
around
rule of
going
thumb is
plus,
you
plus,
specialise.
plus,
Exactly,
Your character does something.
But the thing is, I have no idea what my character is meant to specialise in. What if I pick the wrong thing?
You don't want to get it wrong.
Exactly.
That's true.
So that's why I just made them all equal.
That's why in RPGs, re-rolling, or not re-rolling, but
Respecking
is such a, like, they usually add it in patches afterwards, things like Diablo 2.
these days, sometimes.
Just because people don't want to spend 8 hours realising that their character was spec'd wrong, so they have to either
in some
respec.
cases that's pretty cool. In some cases, especially I think in a kind of a hardcore style game like this, one that's actually appealing to the guy who plays games a lot, like every day.
Right, with those people,
it's a nice.
It turns off anyone even remotely more casual. I don't mean casual in terms of only casual games. I mean casual in terms of they don't want to play this and realise 8 hours in they've screwed up.
I think
that was my thing. That's
successful
why I put
design.
them all equal.
I think if you design it successfully, you're going to make sure that even if they do put their points in a way that you hadn't anticipated, they're still going to be able to progress. But it's nice that you can kind of take ownership of a character and know that, well, okay, they may be flawed, but this is my character. All the decisions I've made have led me to this point.
Yeah.
I like turning everything to 0 and then charisma at the highest it can go, because I like just imagining my character just strutting through the dungeon,
just chatting to all the prostitutes,
just balling up to the prostitutes, going, "Hey, I got 60 charisma. Let's go back to mine."
All you do is chat at prostitutes.
My guy's got such a high charisma, he needs like a theme tune as he's walking around. It's like no one attacks him. He's like, "Damn, that guy's smooth."
Jack, you won the game by just talking to prostitutes, didn't you? Yeah. It turns out you can win this game so many ways that Jack won it only by talking to prostitutes.
Because he had a level 60 charisma and they didn't charge him.
Come on, baby, how do I win this one? Where's the big bad guy? It's like, he's right here. I just want to tell you everything for some reason. And where's that music coming from?
It just ends with me and the boss sitting down having a beer. He's like, damn, this guy's smooth. Here, have the sword of forever. Yes! And that's it. I won the game.
Man, this sword is long.
What a game!
Like the bad guy.
Isn't that Leisure Suit Larry?
The bad villain just wakes up drunk in the morning. He's like, "Oh man, where's my sword of forever? I gave it to that dude last night when we got drunk."
He was so smooth. No, what's that game that I think it was Fallout? You could set your intelligence too low, and then your character would speak in a different way. Like he'd use less vocabulary. Yeah,
that's really impressive.
Quite clever.
And then people would. Oh,
carry on. Finish your point.
Well, no, people would respond to you as if you were stupid because you were speaking in a stupid manner.
That takes a lot of effort, because then did they rewrite like the entire game?
I think all of your characters' dialogue choices were.
Oh, but not like random NPCs.
No, it was just you, because you set your.
Like, if you were saying something, would they respond to the stupid thing that you said, or would it be written in such a way that the response they gave was the same?
I think they usually would. I mean, obviously someone can correct us on Twitter, but I'm pretty sure
That's
they'd respond in a certain way.
This is one thing I wanted to raise when I was actually researching the game and stuff like that. So we're watching a Let's Play of the game, which has got like hundreds of parts. And what makes me laugh is the guy playing. I mean, this is dedication of gamers. He's put himself in the corner like it's like a sign language person. He's not just there for fun. He's reading out all the dialogue.
I hate it when Let's Players do that.
The voices
I don't know. It annoys me when Let's Players. No, but I don't mind when he's doing dialogue. I hate when Let's Players are like, "Hello, it's Johnny. I'm going to play Mario 64."
But that's only at the start.
Just went down.
I hate it when they speak at all. Just put the game on.
Yeah, just play the game.
Nothing over.
No, I don't mind them doing commentary, especially if they've got interesting things to talk about the game, because that adds flavour. And that makes a Let's Play even better than playing the game yourself in some senses, because you learn it's like a director's commentary. But when they're reading out
some random guy's commentary,
right? But they might know as much as the director would in a film's case,
or when they eat.
But when this guy's eating Doritos. But when they read out the dialogue, it's like, I can read out dialogue, dude. I mean, I guess it's for people who are slow readers. I don't know. Why is he reading out for me? I'm a reader.
Because he's doing the voices.
I'm a rapid. He's not doing the voices.
He does the voices.
Does he?
He does voices whilst he's doing it.
Yeah, I think he goes like.
Oh yeah, that's an extra mile.
In a dungeon, stuff like that.
But no, I wanted to carry on hearing what Lizanne thought.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So I did that, and then obviously the game started. Loose term there.
Oh, are you kidding me? How many games are we going to do that aren't actually games, Lizanne? 90% of the things we talk about in the podcast aren't really a game.
Do you honestly know what I thought about this game?
What?
It was animated Zork.
That's actually quite a fair comparison.
That was basically.
Well, it is a lot of text and not very much fighting.
Yeah,
I can.
And it was basically a picture book of Zork kind of thing.
I mean, I think that's quite reductive, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Well, really, if you think about it, Western RPGs are the evolution of text adventures, because those were around before Western RPGs could really come to life, because we didn't have graphics.
Yeah.
Which had text. So this is, the grandchild or great-grandchild.
The people who made Zork wanted. Like, this is the ideal, I think.
I mean, yeah, they put a lot of games out that were much more combat-heavy, and obviously Zork had, as far as I can remember, no combat, if very little. But this game is, mostly about avoiding combat with words.
I really like that. I think that's really good. I started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer recently, and I love that program.
A lot of comparisons to be made.
The first two series kind of suck. But I'm like halfway through Series 5 now, and it's really good when they're talking, Xander, Willow, the guys, all the chemistry and stuff. Joss Whedon makes good characters. But then Buffy goes on like a 5-minute rampage just killing vampires and stuff, and I just phase out because it's so boring. It's like watching some kind of choreographed ballet or something. I don't care. Yeah, just, have her kill a guy and then move on to the next plot point,
Yeah, they put that stuff in for the boys, James.
I started watching Firefly again. I forgot how good a show it is.
Yeah, it's good. Overrated, but good.
No, because it's overrated because it's overrated because it's a cult. They go nuts for it, but it's still a very good.
But the best parts of the dialogue, right? The best parts of the characterization. It's not the action, the shooting and stuff. It's the when stuff happens. And I think that's the same in games like this. In some games like Divinity, again, it has really good combat. But my favorite parts are still when you get to interact with characters, you get to make decisions that then affect stuff. I think that's one of my favorite things in a game. Yeah. When you get to commit to a decision that you can't reverse, that then changes the way things happen in the game. I think that's.
I'm not a fan of that.
I like that, yeah.
I don't like it when I make a decision and it commits the story one way and I can't, because I know I'll never see that other branch of the storyline.
Unless you play it again.
I mean, it's even worse with things like maps. If you're exploring a map and you enter the door that advances the story before you've explored the rest of the area you're in, that bothers me. It's like, what if there was an item back there?
But you made the choice to do that, though. That's
what if there was a minor healing item I've got 58 of already?
See, Neil nailed this on the head when he called me it the other week, and it's the same thing. We're completionists.
Yeah, for sure.
In that, I am still plugging away through Super Mario 3D World because I want every single one of those annoying little stamps.
Yeah, Tales of Xillia. I'm just doing all these.
You have to do so much to get them. You have to play each level 5 times, once with each character, and get to the end.
Bro.
And yeah, it's really hard.
I mean, I can see value in that.
I want everything.
In Tales of Xillia, they have these jobs that come up on the job board, and they're just repeats of the same jobs you've done before.
So you're just
and
grinding out
I'm
levels.
pretty sure they come up endlessly, but I keep doing them because they keep appearing in the list, and I don't mind doing
No
them.
way!
Yeah,
I
you wanna get
swear
rid of
to
the
God,
tasks.
I swear to God, you have said in the past something to the effect of, "I hate grinding in games." You know, I would never do.
No,
it.
I do, unless it's the Tales of games, because I like the combat.
But I love grinding. I did it in Far Cry.
What is this podcast? I love grinding.
I know, in Pokemon, I strongly remember him saying he hated it.
Wait, games like Just Cause or Far Cry 3 or games like racing games, I don't mind grinding. So why don't I like grinding in this game?
Because the gameplay is less enjoyable.
Yeah. I like grinding in all those games, and it's because the
Yeah.
gameplay is much more
I
enjoyable.
wouldn't even classify it as grinding in a game.
I don't know what
like a racing game, for example. It's just doing a race again. I wouldn't really see that as grinding.
I think one of the, I guess I kind of answered my own question. One of the things I have in a game when it comes to sort of grinding or progression is that I like having some sort of like statistic or something to look at. Like if you give me an overworld map, and if there was an overworld map in this game and every red dot was a character I've not yet spoken to, and you get rid of all the red dots, that would drive me. That's it. I'm on it. I'm going to do that. Get rid of all the red dots. Fantastic. Less clutter.
I love that stuff too.
I don't know what that is. I guess that's kind of like
Completionist.
the
Completionism.
I just like being a bit tardy. But I don't know. But this didn't happen in this game.
Tardy.
So I go over to a prostitute and then come back an hour later again. Have I already talked to you? Was there anything left?
You have to remember, put yourself in the. It's
That's
a
why
role-playing
you're meant
game,
to
man.
have
You
your
put
pen and
yourself in the
paper.
position of the character.
You just have to make a jotted note of it. Jot
like-
down a note.
But like, no.
So
all I
you're
did-
basically you like hand holding in games. You like to be directed, and you like what is happening, what is going to happen, to be clearly marked on.
I
screen
love that
somewhere.
arrow at the top that points where you got to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why not? If there's like a book you can read that's like, go to the lair of the ice dragon up north past this roundabout or whatever. Is that not more immersive than having an ambiguous, lifeless arrow and you're like, oh, well, I better head in this direction then?
You're talking about the choose your own adventure books, where you choose all the different pages.
No, he's talking about a book in the
Okay.
game that you have to read.
James, if my life could come with a big arrow telling me where to go, I'd definitely do it.
I think readable books in games is definitely a thing that's happened in the last 10 years that didn't happen before, and it's not something I enjoy.
Really?
Because if I'm reading a book, I'm reading a book. If I'm playing a game, I don't want to read any books. I was doing that before
Come on now.
when I was reading a book.
But what about some other overlaps? Like, I don't know, like art house films.
No, all those scenes in games where you turn on a television and there are shows you can actually... No, I don't...
That is such bullshit.
Yeah, no,
man.
I
So
don't
what, there's
like
no
that.
overlap. So you can't... In a game, you shouldn't have to read anything. What if...
I'm not saying no overlap. I'm saying don't put other form of media and expect me to actually sit
The
down...
games by definition are an amalgamation of different forms of media. I mean,
No,
you've got-
I get that.
You've got film in the cutscenes, you've got music, you've got visual art, you've got...
I understand all of that. I'm
literature
saying specifically when a character sits down at a TV like in Grand Theft Auto or reads a book like in Skyrim, I just don't want to look at any of that stuff.
stuff. Why though? What is
Because
the...
it's not part of the medium I'm enjoying at that moment.
Yes, it
It's just-
is.
I'm
though.
the
But
same.
it is.
No, because
I mean-
the reading is part of like a cutscene, it's a dialogue, or the watching is part of a cutscene, it's the video. That's different from sitting down and having a different form of media inside the form of media watching.
But that's my point, is that it's not a different form of media. You're not actually reading a book, you're just reading text within a game. Like you're reading text within a game whenever you play any of the Pokemon games or any of the Mario games or whatever.
Right, but usually it's presented like a book or a TV show, and they try to format it that way, like the TV... there's TV... Is there
The
TV shows in
TVs
Grand Theft Auto?
The TV shows in Pokemon. You can
Oh
watch.
yeah, I haven't played the most recent one, so I haven't seen them.
Yeah,
But there
that's
are
just
games...
that's just a differently formatted cutscene, though. Like that's
Yeah, it bothers me.
optional.
Just do a real cutscene.
I think the issue with this is that it is essentially just an interactive reading book.
I don't agree with that. I think that's quite reductive.
But but I mean the amount of text on the screen at any one time it's half and half with the action. Whereas with a lot
novel-like.
of a lot of other RPGs, there is less text on screen.
I don't agree in some sense, because there's obviously choice to be made with him. But I got to say, we're on this now. I know the guy's probably doing it 100%. We're on this Let's Play now. We're on the 4th episode. It's 2 hours long. He's still in the first dungeon talking to people.
He's doing
which
the voices.
is awesome.
He's doing the voices. He's eating Doritos and speaking
It's called
everything aloud.
DansGaming, by the way. I've just seen this recording, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I have to agree. It's definitely something. It's an investment of your time to sit down and play this game, and maybe that's my problem with it. That I just want to pick up and have a bash. But I just wanted to get out of straight away. I wanted to get out of the dungeon, straight to a prostitute. That's all I wanted to do.
Well, same as life, really.
It was life.
So you guys feel correct me if I'm wrong, you guys feel like if this game was a book, it would be just as effective or more effective?
No, I'm not saying that.
If it was a book that every 10 pages in suddenly had a video game, and I was like, oh, what the hell, book?
So you think this,
I'm reading!
so you think this benefits from not being a book?
I think it does.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I'm not saying this is bad. I think it's incredible. I'm just saying if this is your thing, yeah, this is phenomenal. I wish someone would make a game like this, but with like a first-person shooter where it's 40 hours long and there's like hundreds of things.
But the reason it's that long is because there's way more longevity in the text-based stuff or the story stuff than the combat.
I guess so.
To answer your point, because I see the point you're making. I know I said
I've seen it before. I have.
I know I said all I like was a story, and I'd rather read a book. What I mean is, the story intrigues me, and I'd like to read a book, for example, with that as the plot, because there's some good concepts in there. But the rest of the game doesn't intrigue me. So while it might intrigue people who classically enjoyed WRPGs, Western RPGs, I have never really enjoyed Western RPGs. I prefer JRPGs. So this game has a lot of stuff that has never interested me, except for the story. So I'm saying, if I was going to enjoy the story in this, I'd rather it be in book form, so I don't have to go through the parts of the game that don't intrigue me.
I kind of agree. In a weird way, I could actually happily watch someone else play this game for quite a while.
It's interesting because we were talking about Neil watching us and play The Last of Us.
Yeah.
In banter, in bants, and I think that a lot of, especially big budget Western games recently, they've started making themselves appear as much as they can like films.
Yeah.
Being cinematic is really important. And like, if that game was a film, would it be better? Would it be worse? Like,
if Last of Us was a film?
If it was a film with acting
I haven't
as
got
good.
to the end yet.
Well, okay, but
I think
if it was a film, everything was the same. It was well directed, but it was acted out.
I'd be surprised if they didn't.
They are actually making a film.
Yeah, and it's going to suck.
Yeah.
But if it was a film, do you think that would be as effective or good?
I think they could easily make it into a film. I'm not sure the, let's say, combat parts of the game were as enjoyable as the story parts.
Wait, didn't you ask Charlie Brooker that question when we met him that time?
I asked him...
You asked him about the future of video games and the immersive
He said, why are you in my house, didn't he?
No, I asked him if he thought games were as effective at telling stories film or something. He's like, yeah, it can be. Basically, they're trying to be like films, right? A lot of the time these days.
Yeah.
And I feel like a game is a much better medium for telling a story than a film or a book. Or
You've obviously got
or
agency.
I agree.
And I just feel like games like this are really good because they are more than those novels. You know, it's more than a choose-your-own adventure book because you've got way more options in terms of characterization. You can make your own decisions. There is player agency.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with you there. I'm just saying that there are parts of the game that don't interest me, and there are parts of the game that do.
But I think you can view it in its own regard, can't you? You can take yourself away from that. And I don't know, to hear like people. I've often heard people call the Metal Gear Solid games like movies. And it just seems weird, like any ratio of gameplay to non-interactive media or whatever, I think is fine, you know. Stuff like Depression Quest came out recently. It didn't come out recently, it came out a while ago. Some people call that not a game. I just think that it's... People try to compartmentalize a lot of this stuff, and I think there's no point.
No, I see your point.
The guys who made Gone Home, who I said this before, had to... like CEX or whatever, gave a whole presentation about how the game is a game. And it is funny how... I mean, I've got nothing against the blurred lines of what's a game and not a game. I think it's good for discussion, for academic discussion. I like it.
It starts to seem like the what is art discussion, which goes nowhere.
Exactly,
because
it always ends in the same place, which is either just a disagreement.
Everyone has their own interpretation of what a game is.
And it can never be... There's no fact there, is there? There's nothing objective. It's just subjective. Oh, well, I think this and I think that. It's like
But a lot of people... Now that there's a lot of indie game developers who are experimenting a lot more than AAA developers generally do, they're pushing a lot more of the boundaries of the art form. Because games are definitely art. I think we've all agreed on that. And now there's a lot more experimentation going on. There's a lot more people saying, well, this isn't a game, and people saying, well, yes, it is. And I feel like it's a pointless discussion to have, unless you're going to be civil about it.
There was a game, was it like called The Mountain or something? It came out recently. Isn't that entirely non-interactive?
Just Mountain.
The designer of the games in Her made a game on iOS, and it's pretty much just a mountain that you just spin around and it starts growing, and that's it. Which sounds like I've made it sound rubbish, but it's beautiful. It's a great game.
People talk about that not being a game, right? But I don't know if it's...
A game, surely, by definition, has to be interactive.
Apparently not.
But no, but if the mountain grows because you're spinning it, then
I think
it's interactive.
I think you just spin around it just to see it from different angles.
I think if you stripped down games to something, a bare form, then yes, there has to be some form of interactive to your control for it to be a game. You have
but even if you strip it down to that level...
You have to have some sort of input. Even if the input does nothing, if you just press a button, it ends up like a world exploding.
That doesn't work, right? Because Depression Quest is a game, right? You guys have played that.
I haven't played it yet, sadly.
You know what it is.
Zoe Quinn, right?
Yes, yeah.
But is a regular website a game? Because you're interacting with that in exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Is Facebook a game? Is Twitter a game? According to Charlie Brooker, Twitter is a game.
Facebook and Twitter are definitely a game.
Also,
Absolutely a game.
just novels. You interact with novels, right, to advance the story.
Exactly, you turn the page. So then it's like, what? It's a meaningless definition.
And when I play a guitar as well, I'm playing a game.
You could
Exactly,
be.
so that
Guitar
definition
Hero.
doesn't work because games don't require interaction because then everything is a game, right? It's like,
Oh man,
But that's such
I
a
thought I
deep.
nailed it.
We're late in the show, guys. We're getting into a deep discussion here about what is a game. Listeners,
You getting
tweet
bored?
me if you can tweet me in less than 140 words what a game is. I'll read down. Yeah,
also summarize
140
love.
characters.
140 characters. Yeah, whatever. They won't
140 words is way
No
too many.
one-
They won't need those.
No one will be able to summarise what a game is in 140 characters. Wink. Reverse psychology there on the listeners.
Challenge accepted, hopefully.
Someone's there cracking his knuckles, going, "Oh, I got this one."
Only needed one.
I only needed one word.
No
Fuck.
character.
All right.
Exclamation
I
mark.
wonder which one it is.
Question mark.
Do you want to hear some?
Oh, deep.
Do you want to hear some not very good trivia?
Yes.
Always.
There's a hell of a lot of documentation on this game. I won't lie. I didn't read through it all. Just like the game, I don't like reading. But I did scan, and I got that the game was originally meant to be called Last Rites.
Yeah.
The game script contains around 800,000 words.
Damn.
That's quite a large novel.
No,
That's
that is
huge.
mega. That's like the whole of the Game of Thrones series to date.
Yeah, that's not like...
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of
If I dropped it on your-
So all
250,000.
6 Game of Thrones books at the moment.
If I printed it and dropped it on your lap, you'd go, ah! That's how heavy it is. Magic was also an important part of the game's design, and a team of 4 designers worked solely on the visuals and mechanics of spells in this game. 4 whole designers. It's a full-time job doing the magic. Interesting. I thought that was quite cool.
No wonder they're no longer a studio.
No, that reminds me of Age of Empires 3. I remember I saw a video and they pointed out that one person or one team was just assigned to do the water.
That's really inefficient. Like,
Well, it has really nice water, to be fair.
oh.
But no, carry on.
And he was on holiday for a month, and they were like, "Where's the ocean?" I remember.
He took it with him.
Oh, I took my USB stick, guys. Oh, God, I'll be back soon.
Well, I remember when I was at Rocksteady, they had like. I mean, he wasn't his full-time job, but he spent a hell of a long time on Batman's cape. Spent
Yeah.
a couple.
Well,
of
you
months
see it the
Oh, that
entire
makes
game.
sense.
just.
Yeah.
on
It's
the
just
cape.
flapping in front of you.
one of the
Plus, they
focal
did the
points.
they put the
Spent
physics in there.
Ages on the physics of the cape,
Oh,
like,
physics.
to get it right. But yeah, we're going to the Retrograde. Actually, frozen. I can't remember what we had to do next.
We were doing trivia,
Retrograde
and now we're
part
doing
You
of the
haven't
show.
closed trivia yet.
Trivia closed.
There we go.
And then we
Now
go
on to the
into
next bit.
Retrograde.
How many times have you done this, Jack?
At least
59.
59.
Well, more than that with the specials. You should check out the specials, guys, at home.
Oh, wait,
Wondering where your life's
do
gone.
I count the specials as
Yeah.
episodes?
No, you don't.
I hope I do.
You
Otherwise-
don't.
Otherwise, that's just getting sad.
It's not just getting sad because we've done 3 more than 59. 59 was fine, but 62, no, we're quitting.
This is done. Well, it's time for the Retrograde part show. As you all know, this is where we grade a game against a metaphoric symbolism.
With
James.
A metaphoric symbolism, you say. Now you're talking my language.
There we
I
go.
don't even know how to begin to correct him. It's just...
James,
yeah.
how are we grading this imagery? He hasn't thought of it.
Oh,
I
Jack.
He
haven't.
hasn't thought of it.
Types of curtain.
Oh,
'cause you
where were you inspired
Curtains.
by that?
Oh, come on, really? How many
All
types
right.
of curtains?
Okay.
Types of
All right,
prostitute.
fine. I'll do a curtain.
Okay, no, fine. Okay, you don't like curtains. Fine. Okay.
Oh no. He's
Types.
going to sound really. He's going to sound really intelligent.
Types
I don't know.
of
Types of lamp.
pavement. We're doing this based on types of pavement, guys. Jack, you're first.
Okay. Crazy paving. Because it's like, give it a rest, guys. What are you doing here?
Wait, what's crazy paving?
Crazy paving is when you get smashed up paving stones and then you kind of mosaic them together with cement to...
It's just.
So it's not a regular pattern, it's very irregular.
I can appreciate the craft that's gone into it, and I'm like, wow, you guys really made a job that could have been easier with big slabs and made it a lot harder for yourselves. And there's loads of rocks when you could have just had a few rocks. But I appreciate it and I like the look of it, but it's not really for me, guys. Because when I'm walking down my drive, I'm like, if I'm drunk, it's like the floor's going all over the place. I can't play chess on it because it's just a mess. And yeah, that's it. So I go
Do
for
you
crazy
play
paving.
chess on normal paving?
I do. If I see a good bit of paving,
Jack is an expert at street chess.
Street chess.
I take it to the
Along with
streets.
Street Countdown.
yeah, we use types of drugs instead of like normal pieces.
Nice.
Heroin is the king.
And when you take it, you literally take it.
Yeah, when your piece gets taken, you go, oh, finally, and you do a shot of it.
my grading is going to be, those commemorative paving slabs, the walkways where, like, you get them outside football grounds and things like that, where people can pay money to have their name engraved on a stone, and then that's sunk into the paving. That kind of thing, because the text gets in the way of my action. So I'm trying to walk.
What action are you trying to?
I'm trying to walk.
Okay.
I'm trying to walk on the paving, but I can't because the text is all in the way, and I'm trying to read it, and it just slows me down, and it's really frustrating. All I'm trying to do is walk. And it's the same when you're trying to play this game. All you want to do is play the game, but you can't because there's too much text in the way.
All the Hollywood stars, a good example of that.
Yeah.
You probably have to not walk past those.
I don't think it's still there, but when I went to Bristol Zoo, there's between the penguin enclosure, there's a tunnel, and it's got people could buy plaques where they've sponsored the penguin stuff. One of them, I always remember it just said, like, in memory of, like, John or something, who always hated the penguins. And I don't know why it was there. I was like, that's a weird thing.
That's
like, screw you, John, you're into penguins now.
That's brilliant.
Anyway,
I like that.
sorry.
But yeah, I give it a commemorative walkway.
Fair enough.
James or Anthony?
I'm going to give it the kind of paving you usually find everywhere because the government, am I right, guys?
Yeah.
That's just
Street pavement.
just got loads of cracks in the paving stones because I don't want to step on most of it.
In case you break your mother's back.
Because I have OCD. Although what I actually do is I see heavily cracked paving, I tend to start stepping on the not cracked parts. Just because I find that fun. And then I realise, eventually I start stepping on all the cracks because, not all of them, that's even more OCD. I start stepping on cracks because I want people who might be watching me not stepping on cracks to know that I don't actually have OCD.
Do you ever get worried that people in heaven are looking down and watching everything you do and you don't want
No,
to
because
to them?
heaven isn't real. But I think
Heard it here first.
maybe the fact that I always need people around me to know that I don't have OCD by stepping on cracks means that I do have OCD. I don't know.
No, it's self-awareness. I get that sometimes too. And
Try and let
it
that
is
thought
a
cycle
little
go round
mark
and round
of-
for a while.
You're
Yeah.
lucky as well, because I think there is a heaven. And if I'm there, like, you're going to get a free card from me. And I'm like, but you never even believed
Why would
in
I get a
it.
free card from you?
Because you'll be there going, here, Jack, that's in. And I'm like, no, you dog.
No, if I don't believe in heaven, and
Wait. Yeah, no, you
If
actually, you probably
Anthony's
will
like-
die before
if
Anthony.
Anthony's like, yeah.
Jack, if there is a heaven, all of us, including you, are going to hell.
If I'm
Excuse
like,
me, I wasn't baptised. I'm in limbo having a party.
Oh, then I'm going to be in
there's
limbo
no
as well.
parties in limbo.
That's
There's,
terrible.
Yeah, there is.
there's just nothing.
like,
Literally
Yeah,
a limbo party.
Better than hell.
But what I'm saying is, like, if there was, like, say Auntie said, oh, there's no such thing as Legoland, and I went, I'm driving to Legoland today, he'll go, I can uplift.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
He wouldn't believe that you were going to Legoland.
Yeah, I would say no, you're not, Jack, because it doesn't exist. You're going to drive to a field somewhere and just prance about a bit with some Lego.
And then I come back with a Lego hat on, little Lego.
You
people
bought
on my
that
arm.
at the airport.
Wait, are you saying you're going to haunt Anthony wearing Lego memorabilia?
He's saying it's going to get him into heaven.
No, this is when he comes back from Legoland, not when he comes back from
Wait,
heaven.
are you offering a back door to heaven?
I'm not going to haunt Anthony.
Backdoor to heaven, I think I saw that one.
If I
Thank you!
if I was to haunt Anthony, I think I'd be in one up Emma getting haunted.
Really?
Yeah, the
Why?
stuff I'd see. Bloody
Oh,
hell.
yeah, that's you don't want to see
Dancing
that.
about on
I'd
the
be like,
pavement, trying to avoid the cracks, trying to step on him. Which one is it? It's embarrassing. People are watching you.
I'd be there. I'd like pass through the walls into his room. Ooh, oh God, what's going on in here?
No, no.
Do you know what? I bet he'd be a ghost that would keep bumping into walls because he can't go through them. That would be Jack. Oh, it's the
has to
bumbling
wait.
Jack ghost.
He has to wait until someone opens the door for an extended period of time. And
Because
he's
he
trapped.
can't touch them.
No, I think you're right to say it.
He'd get trapped in a toilet for 10 years. No, it'd be hilarious.
And then when they open it, I go, boo! Anyway, James, what pavement? Did you finish your pavement point?
I did, yeah, I did.
There you go, listeners. You don't get pavement points on other shows, you get it here on Retrograde.
I didn't actually think of... maybe cobbling? Is that a type of paving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, because oldie-timey horses used to clip-clop on it, and this game is old.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that works. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll go with that.
Bit
There you go.
bumpy.
Crazy
No,
paving,
no, that's not a comparison I'm
Royal
drawing.
Oh, okay.
cracked government
Iconic.
pavement.
Cult classic.
Outdated.
Cult classic.
Hipster. It's a hipster paving. It's cobble.
Cult classic.
Dabby Dozy. All right, thank you for listening, and you can find all information and all links regarding this podcast, as well as all our other sister podcasts at Psychon.net. CSCION.net.
CSI.
No, try it again.
I've literally got that spelt wrong in my notes.
Well done.
CSICON.net. Good lord. So make sure to check it out. And just a reminder again that Retrograde Podcast is hosted on the Psychon Network. So head over to psychon.tv to become a patron for our shows and support us. Give us some money. Because that'd be great. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank God, listeners. We've got a real game. You're going to be so happy about this. Grim Fandango. If this was live, you just hear a massive, around the country right now. People going,
Who chose
fantastic.
this?
I chose Grim
Did you choose it after the announcement of the remaster?
You chose it to coincide, didn't you?
No, not really. No, to be honest, it's just always been on my backlist, and I thought, and I did think, let's do Grim Fandango. To be honest, when we first started the show, we had games 6 months in advance. Now it's what are we doing next week, Andy? What are we doing? You haven't picked your next game yet, have you?
Have I not?
God.
No, but don't say it now because that will tease the listeners. But anyway, Grim Fandango, yeah. So
I might start taking photos during the show so that the listeners can see what James and I are laughing at all the time.
You need to see the actions Jack performs.
Yeah.
I need to be on TV.
It was like a really fast
radio.
and incoherent come hither motion.
Yeah, Grim Fandango with my magic fingers.
It was like fire hands.
The pleasure
Fire
claw.
hands.
It was fire hands.
James!
That's what it is.
Pleasure claw!
Any of you played Grim Fandango?
Yeah, briefly.
I
Yeah,
think I
completed
tried
it.
once, but it didn't work.
Wow, that's going to be a fun episode. Briefly. Tried it once. Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, Grim Fandango, greatest game ever made, best music ever made. Obviously, next week.
There's no need for a show now. You've done it.
Done it. So yeah, that's a goodbye from me, Jack Marshall. A goodbye from Anthony Hobday.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Roseanne Fisher.
Bye.
And goodbye from James McFadden.
Goodbye.